promising future of the in-home pharmacy. What does the promise of an in-home pharmacy look like, and what does that mean? This concept flips the entire home drug delivery on its head. I'd like to welcome to our stage Ted Mills, the CEO and founder of Tespo, to share his vision of the future.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Jill. I appreciate it very much. My name is Ted Mills. I'm CEO and co-founder of Tespo. This summer, I was introduced to Jill. I met her at a coffee shop, and Jill asked me, what is Tespo doing? What are your aspirations? What problems are you trying to solve? And I shared with her two very personal stories, one about my mother and one about one of my teenage daughters. And Jill was kind enough to invite me to speak today, and I think these stories are going to make some connections with you. They're very relevant. They're problems that need to be solved. They were talking about a few moments ago, and that's our mission. My first story is one of my mother. In 2015, my mother, who was 76 years old at the time, had a closed head injury. She lived in Florida. She went intensive care. We're based in Michigan. I had to relocate my mom back up to Michigan. She went into assisted living, and then she was adamant about being put into independent living. So there was really nothing I could do. And I moved her into independent living, and she had a bunch of medications. And we were trying to figure out what medications mattered, where she got them from. She actually had 2 blood pressure medications from 2 different doctors. She had several medications that we couldn't even figure out what they were for, who they were prescribed from. So once we got her organized, she had blister packs that were organized. They were color-coded, so orange, yellow, green, blue. Put it into my mom's apartment, and she still could not figure that out. Her adherence to medication was incredibly challenging. So what happened? Later that summer, I found my mom 2 days after she had passed away, and she had a cell phone in her hand. Was trying to call my sister, and she had not been adhering on her medication for 2 days, and she was obviously in distress. This entire conference about digital health is about relaying information that's occurring in the home and giving that information to people where it matters the most. So today, we're setting out on a mission to help solve for that, combining digital health technology and the wearable and the outputs that people are generating with actual inputs. We're trying to close the loop on medication adherence and transfer that information to the people that matter most: loved ones, caregivers, physicians, and pharmacies. So this is not unique to my mom. It was mentioned a few moments ago. By 2050, there's going to be 88 million Americans that are over the age of 65. On average, today, 5+ medications per day are taken. Last year, 2018, actually it's 2020 now, so 2018, there were 3 million hospitalizations that were attributed to medication mismanagement. That costs this country over $100 billion in hospitalization each year. My mom is not even part of that stat. She never made it to the hospitalization. She died. So this stat is potentially way worse, and it's a big problem that needs to be solved. I'm going to give you my second personal story here, and this is the second part of our mission and where I think that we're really going to make a difference. And so I've got 3 daughters, tremendous women, incredibly strong. One of my daughters suffers from anxiety, ADHD, and mild depression, right? So she's on a number of medications. Her protocol is a complete therapy program: diet, nutrition, medication, and therapy. This is a child that has ADHD. And if you know anything about ADHD, it's incredibly difficult for people to stay organized. She fundamentally can't keep track of her medications. She's just not wired that way. We're a house where medication adherence matters, and we still cannot keep track of it for her. So this scenario, this is not my daughter, but I've been in this office like this, and I'm sitting to the right. This has happened to me 2 times in the past 18 months. The first time, you've got a doctor that's talking to a 17-year-old who's in a mild depression state, low self-esteem, and the conversation goes like this: how are you feeling? Not so good. Okay, have you been taking your medication? What do you think that this patient is going to say to an MD in front of her dad? She's going to say, yes, I'm taking it. So you know what happens? They increase the dosage, right? It happens every day. The second scenario, which happened a year ago last December, same thing. How are you feeling? Not so good. You've been taking your medication? Yes. We know that she hasn't been taking her medication. So what happens at that point in time? You move to the next most severe medication with significant side effects. The doctor does not have the information that they need to run proper treatment plans and protocols. We are living in a day and an age where we can solve these problems. So the medication is prescribed, you get into this intense period of like, we gotta stay compliant, stay compliant, stay compliant, and the side effects are incredibly horrible. So you're talking about a 17-year-old with low self-esteem, and these side effects hit him instantly. It took us about 6 weeks to identify and work our way out of that. So we're here on a mission. We know across all medications that people are less than 60% compliant, and I can tell you there's a lot of research that states that for the mental health category, it's nothing more than a random guess that the doctor makes regarding the medication adherence of their patients. So what if we could create an environment in a world where we could actually monitor what people are actually doing in the home, where we could share that information? You won't run out of medication. There's safety protocols put in place where you can't take the same medication twice. That a caregiver or a loved one can actually receive alerts about not taking medication. What if we could create a super efficient format for people in a super easy environment that they literally just put their medication into a machine and the machine takes over and that information is shared with all the people that need to know? Well, that's what we've done. We created TESPO. We created a system. It's a platform that we're building, a medication adherence platform. And our system is based off of a Wi-Fi connection. It's got a barcode reader, and that pod that goes into the dispenser has a barcode on it. We have a patent on that pod that can cover a number of chambers. It can be 2 chambers, it can be 31 chambers, it can be 28, 14, doesn't matter. We sealed that pod. That pod is then shipped into the home. It's connected via the Wi-Fi, and that information can be shared with people. We have 2 sensors on there. You press the button, medication has been administered. There's another sensor in the cup and the receptacle. When that cup is taken, then we know that the medication's actually been taken. We integrate with Alexa, Google Home, and our vision is to connect and be agnostic to all the wearable devices that are in the marketplace today. It is as simple as opening an envelope, taking that pod, and putting it into the dispenser. So today we're in the supplement space. We built a team based in Michigan, and we are working on developing these products in the supplement space, understanding how to build the equipment, working on the connections, the interface on the APIs, and the mobile applications. And we're moving into clinical spaces within the supplementation to kind of perfect our system. So our vision is that we can actually create a platform that's agnostic to wearables. We connect with everybody, and you can actually monitor how dad's doing. All I need is a red, yellow, green. Simple as that. Taking medications that their vitals are on par. If they go outside of a zone that puts them in yellow or red, you're notified. And the whole key to this is make it super efficient. We have a patient integration portal or a caregiver or loved one. I could share the information with my mom, or my mom could share the information with me. A physician integration. How compliant has my patient been? I need to know this information. And then a pharmacy integration. You will not run out. We have an auto-renew capability, so we can keep track to the serving what people are taking. So we have the ability then to notify people that you're getting low on your dosage. There's great innovation today, for sure. This is a great company, trying to do great things, but I can assure you that my mom, this would have been no better than a blister pack for my mom. And there's a bunch of people just like my mom this would be no better for. And this format does not give me any data as her son as to how compliant she's been. So if you can envision a scenario in which this pod has those pills in a barcoded environment so we can actually keep track digitally to the minute, that's the vision that we have. So we know that in 2018, the investment or revenue, generated in the digital wearable devices was $86 billion globally, and that by 2025, it's going to be $504 billion. That's in 6 years. The amount of investment going into monitoring human beings, biometric vital signs on the human body and in the home is an explosion. It's an absolutely gigantically growing market right now, and the biggest companies in the world, some of them are here in this room right now, are investing a tremendous amount of money of keeping track of human beings' outputs, but there's very little going into tracking the inputs on the human body. So we feel like we're here to close that loop. And we're going to be agnostic to these companies. We'll connect with everybody, and we're going to share this information. So I'll give you one really quick example. We just completed a sleep study where we gave Fitbit Charge 3s to some of our customers. We have a sleep pod in our connected dispenser. We ran through a protocol in the sleep study. What we learned was everybody said they were compliant with the protocol, right? And they didn't know that we could actually see to the minute who actually followed the protocol. When we took away the people that actually didn't follow the protocol, we found that the actual improvement in REM was up 16%. So when you think about all the money going to clinical studies for drug protocols that are out there, we have the ability to actually monitor to the minute. So our vision over the course of the next 12 months is we're going to grow our team, we're going to expand our API integrations, and we're going to partner strategically with companies that want to work with us. So our goal for the next quarter is that we're going to conduct a pilot study in mental health through our platform. We're going to do a pilot study in elder care on our platform. And then we're going to roll into clinical studies at the end of this year and then roll out our medication management system in 2021. So if you're interested in learning more about TESPO and our medication management format and our plans, please come see us at booth 44267. And we're looking for strategic partnerships and people that want to make an impact. I can assure you that we are going to make an impact. There's problems that need to be solved, and we're committed to solving those. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.